Good morning, good afternoon, good evening for some of you. My name is Ans van Erp and I'm the Chief Club Creator. And it gives me great pleasure to welcome you all in total of 28 joining us for this session. Earlier, we had a session in, I think it was about 11 p.m. for me, and we had 33. And what this shows to Teresa and myself is the great interest in starting a new club. What we will do today in the session is cover some of the tools and the resources that you need to get off the ground. You've got the green light from Zonta International, and now it hit the ground and run. Before we start, I'd like to acknowledge our Zonta International membership chair, Teresa Harris from District 2, who has, since the start of this biennium as the chair, really been an inspiration, not only for me, but also for all the lieutenant governors in particular, and of course, the district club creators. So thank you, Teresa. I would also like to acknowledge my fellow nominating committee member, Ina. Ina is on the nominating committee and also the district club creator for District 14. And Ina was a past director, so we benefit greatly from your knowledge. But really, what I really would like to do is extend my heartfelt welcome to the new ones. Some of you who have never been in this space before of creating a club. And I really like to think that you are going to feel inspired, enthused, motivated to work hard to get to that magic number of 15. But how we're going to get there in a moment will be discussed. So in a moment, I'm going to start sharing my screen and introduce the presentation. To make it a little bit quicker, because last night we had a little bit of an icebreaker that took 23 minutes, and that was probably a little bit long in hindsight, but lesson learned, it's okay. It's okay to learn these things. What we'll do today is make it a little bit shorter, but I will start, as Teresa has already said, if you're going to be on an island, just by yourself, what is the one thing that you would take? Put it in the chat as a bit of an icebreaker. We won't go around, but I will do, as a matter of courtesy, do a quick roll call. Now, what I will ask specifically when I ask, is there a district club creator from District 1, is only the district club creator, because we do know that there might be sometimes more of a district online, and we really are appreciative of that. But I just really wanted to know the district club creators online. So I'm going to start. District 1, do we have a DCC from District 1? Just say yes or no, that's fine. And remember to unmute yourself when I come to your district, okay? District 2, do I have a district club creator from District 2 or a new club chair from District 2?
You have the club creator, Teresa.
Okay, oh, yes. How could I forget? Thank you. District club creator from District 3?
Yes.
District club creator from District 4?
Yes.
Thank you. District club creator from District 5? District 6? District 7? No, we have two screens. That's why I really have to look at, but just unmute yourself. That makes it easier for us. District 8?
Yes.
Yes. Welcome. Thank you.
There's several of us, I think.
District 9?
Here.
Thank you, Laura. District 10? District 11? District 12? District 13?
Hello, my name is Zruta. I am Lieutenant Governor of District 13, and I'm sorry that I'm without video. It's almost 1 o'clock in Lithuania.
It's okay. We acknowledge your presence here and are very
Thank you.
for that. Thank you. District 14, district club creator.
That's me.
Ina.
Yes. District 15, District 16, we have an apology, that was last night. District 17, probably also, we had District 17 online last night, so I expect they won't dial in. District 18.
I am Victoire Benao,
Deputy
Deputy of District 18.
Lovely to have you online, Victoire, and thank you for joining. RSA, Angela, welcome aboard. Hi. Angela, who is in the process of getting a club off the ground in Uruguay, and we probably will find out a little bit more later on. District 20, District 21, District 22, welcome aboard, Petra. District 23, District 24, District Club Creator. Yes, I know you were, Bernadine was very eager, hey? Too eager to start early, but great to have you online. District 25, we're nearly there. District 26.
I'm here.
Yes, that's right. Lovely to have you online. And I've got your correct email address now, Michio, so that's fantastic. Thank you for sending that through. District 27.
Yeah, that's me.
Yes, that is Florence. Also very eager to start at 2 o'clock in the morning. No, not really. But
11 in the
11.
evening.
Thank you so much. District 28, District 29.
It's me.
Welcome.
Susanna.
Welcome, Snezana. Yes, thank you. And District 30, we had District 30 Fabian last night, so I don't think we will have anybody from District 30. District 31. Okay, well, thank you so much.
Ans. I want to point out that Angela Burke is here from District 1 as District Club Creator. And our esteemed colleague in Zant International Membership Committee, Wendy Dio, has joined the group as well.
Oh, yes, I can see it. And of course, I also would like to acknowledge Mariah, who is from Zonta headquarters and really without whose work we couldn't really do much. So we're very grateful that everybody is online. So I acknowledge now that we have 31 online. I'm working over 2 screens. So Teresa, if you could help with monitoring the chat and advise if my screen is not visible, please help out. But let's just start sharing the screen and get the presentation underway. So today is really about empowering club creators with tools and resources, and we've already heard Teresa mentioning earlier that these tools and resources the PowerPoint will be made available, but the actual tools and resources are going to also be made available. This is the agenda. I don't have to pause here very long because the agenda, you've already received that. Again, it's about having a bit of a discussion at the end, but the main purpose of today's agenda is to ensure that your club creation, the work that you put in, is supported by the tools and the resources, and that you realize there is a timeline. We're going to come back to that in a moment. This is a really a happy slide that I wish to share with you. I can confirm here that at the moment, as we speak, we have 1 RSA, 4 new countries, 21 districts together forming 33 clubs. And both Mariah and Teresa can confirm that there are more and more clubs being created as we speak. Congratulations to these districts, but also encouraging those districts that haven't started to really start now by putting in a club authorization form. I just want to draw attention to the 4 new countries. Can you see that? Papua New Guinea, Rwanda, Tunisia, Nicaragua, and we are going to continue to grow Zonta in many corners of the world. So thank you very much.
Here are a few images from our recent global celebration of clubs in formation, complete with some happy birthday greetings to President Uta's husband from around the world.
This is just a reminder why we are doing this. We have a wonderful membership of more than 24,000, but there is so much work to build a better world. And you can see there's a couple of empty seats there. We want to fill the chairs in next time when we come together in Brisbane in 2024. We want to have every seat in the convention center filled, not only the bottom, but also the top. As you can see, there's still quite a few empty chairs and we need to fill them. This is really where we're going to pause for a moment. The club creation process timeline. Take us through these steps here, Teresa. Could you please help me with that?
Absolutely. Well, there are some certain, we called it bus drivers who are creating the club, the new club chairs, and they go along certain mile markers, if you will, or kilometers, I guess, for some. These are the main ones. And they can occur in a various order, but you will be hitting all of these in your process, and we will go through the detail of the process shortly. So you will have social media for your new club. It's okay to do it while you're in formation using your logo that Zonta International Headquarters sent you. You will be planning an announcement event, sometimes called an information event, where you tell people about Zonta. Invite. You cannot over-invite for your events. I want to tell you now that when you invite people to find out about Zonta and your new club, that you must over-invite. 1/3 of whom you invite will come. And what if you are in a new city where maybe you don't even live? We have a person in Brussels who's creating a club in Nicaragua. The internet has helped us really connect around the world, and this is marvelous. So she'll do a lot of her inviting with people she's never even had a handshake with. And where do you find these people? We're going to be talking about that. You will hold your announcement event. The big number is 15. When you are ready to charter, you have 15 applications and dues payments in your hand. You will repeat your announcement event until you have 15 people. And there's all kinds of announcement event. We'll talk about those too. Some are big, some are small, some are formal, some are informal. And then once you have your 15, you let headquarters know that you're ready to charter. And they'll start their magic behind the scenes. They're telling me to allot 2 weeks, just as an FYI. It might be a little bit quicker, it might be a little bit longer, but as an average, 2 weeks. And your district club creator role really kicks in at this point, because up to this point, it's the new club chair who's putting everything together. But the district club creator role is so important when it comes to organizing. A new club needs to have experienced Sanchins to walk with them for a period of about a year, probably, just as you're getting your bylaws and your service projects, or whatever you're going to do, and certainly your officers and your committee chairs in order. That's organizing. And then request to charter is the sixth thing. That might happen before 5, it might happen after. As long as it happens, it's okay either way that it happens. Only thing you should know, you cannot request to charter until you have 15. There is a special exception. If you are hot and heavy and ready to go, and you have a lot of energized people who know Zanta, it is possible to get an exception to start with 10. We caution against this because usually, historically, in the first year, you will lose some of your members. This is just a fact of life, like gravity. We may not like it, but it exists. You will lose some members. So always overshoot is my words of advice on that one. That's all, Ans.
Okay, thank you so much for that. That was a really good way to take us to the next slide. Talking about creating a club, I just want to introduce you to Diane Lego. Diane Lego has been a member for Zonta over 40 years, but the reason why she's featuring in today's presentation is because she single-handedly created 16 clubs, and not only in Queensland where she lives, but all over the world. And so we had an opportunity to talk to Diane some time ago, and Teresa has put a video together. Teresa, did you want to introduce the video? We are not going to play the video, but certainly talk a little bit more about how club creators can be inspired by viewing this video.
You know, Ans-Marie, that word inspired is what was on the tip of my tongue too, because this woman, well before we had computers, really got 16 clubs off the ground, not in her neighborhood. Well, some were, but somewhere around the world. So I think you too will be inspired. And I encourage you to watch her video. When we spoke with her, we could have spoken all night. The interview was 2.5 hours. I will not tie you busy ladies up for 2.5 hours. We've edited it down to 15 minutes. I put in the chat how you get to the
Video.
Some of you have access to Leadership Access membership on the ZI website, and that will take you right to our YouTube channel. But for everybody else, you must go there. In the handouts, we'll put the link to this 15-minute video, and you'll find inspiration and direction. All of the techniques that she used to create these clubs are still valid today. She has a lot of little tips and tricks, and we don't want to take all of your time right now to share them with you. But your homework after this event is to see this.
Well, what
And
we
here's
have
some
done,
of the highlights.
That's right, yes, because I think this is already something that will help us also to set the scene here. The emphasis is very much on moving swiftly. So you've got your club information logo, you're planning your event. So set yourself some timelines, really try to get that club off the ground. We do have officially 2 years from Zonta International, but of course we don't want to take 2 years because you're going to lose interest. So it is about moving swiftly. It's about really finding out who you're going to invite. And in a moment, we talk a little bit more about who to invite. Always make sure that you mind the budget. We don't want these events, these announcement events or the creation of a club to become an expensive undertaking. So work inexpensively and hold several Zonta events in one day. That is particularly relevant, I think, if you do the face-to-face, but also even on the Zoom meetings, if you have an announcement event electronically, you just like we session the Club Creator session twice because you want to reach as many people as possible. So show your flexibility as a club creator and offer several times.
The music theme is because Diane is a pianist and she loves music.
The second page of tips that she has to be expressive when you talk about Zonta, to make sure you have your prospective member application, a piece of paper. Everybody should walk away from your announcement event with an application form, whether they join or not, because that is where we really want them to think about joining this organization. Over invite, we've learned that, but once you've got your applications in your hand and the money is in there, and that's really when you move on to the next one, which is the organizing meeting, where you have your elections and you choose your president, your treasurer, and your director. Okay.
I want to throw one point in there back a second where it said application with interest checklist. We learned this from Diane. Guess what she did on her applications? As soon as they said, yes, I want to join Zonta, or hey, maybe I'm thinking about it, I'll let you know. She gave them the application. And on the bottom, she said, would you be interested in serving on the board? Would you be interested in serving on one of these committees? And she listed, service, membership. And she had half of her organizing work done right at the beginning. If there was only one person, they didn't have to have an election. If there were two, they had an election. But boy, it makes the organizing a lot easier when you ask the question right up front. What a great idea.
Yeah, so we definitely consider all her advice. Now, this is what we call the bus stops, and I do acknowledge that it's a lot of information on one slide, but I'm going to ask Teresa again to take us just in an efficient manner to this timeline. Can you explain this timeline a little bit more?
I sure will. And while I do that, our district club creators, I want you to think about where you are on this bus route presently. Have you thought about starting a club? So each thing has a number. So if you've thought about a club and done nothing else, then you're one. Consider a location, a name, and you started the paperwork. Did you get agreement for your club or your district? It's always good to have an agreement from a sponsoring club or a district. It doesn't have to be a club. You submitted your paperwork to member records. You got approval and your logo from ZI. They sent you an email with a lot of documents. Have you read them? Then you're at bus stop number 6. There are more people in the world who are not Zonta members than who are. So if an organizer is not a Zonta member, a new club chair, for example, then we really suggest that they join Zonta right away, because then they have access to the Zonta app and to our beautiful website. So they can join as a member of a club if they wish, or they can join as a supporting member. A lot of our young people are very happy to join as a supporting member right now because they can get in for US $22 if they're young, under age 35. So number 8, have you started your social media accounts? Maybe. Number 9, think about where the monthly meetings could be held if you're a physical club. Number 10, hold an event. This is the event where you tell people about Zonta. Sometimes you can have a speaker at the event. If you're attracting strangers, I suggest that. Or you might have a smaller thing. Like I had one right around my dining room table. We had a little bit of food and then we had a little bit of conversation. I had 6 guests and 5 of them are now going to be Zonta members. Just a little conversation right in the comfort and convenience of my home. Number 11, you invited people to come. That's a process. That will take some work. 11, do not take that lightly. We're going to really need to invite a lot of people, as we told, because 1/3 will come. Decide the dues amount. If you're a new club chair, make sure you're speaking with your district club creators on this. And district club creators, make sure your new club chairs know what the dues are. Because we have half year dues, we have district dues, and then you're going to figure out what the club dues are. So every club is different. Print out an application. We will have a sample for you in the resources, and maybe you want to do the little thing like Diane did, and you collect it back at the end of the event. Is anyone up to 13 yet? Hold the event, repeat till you have 15 in hand. Tell member records that you have your 15. They start a charter account for you. You get to enter your people and their payments. That's number 16. And then you get the congrats letter from Zonta International. Do not worry, you're going to get Ans's slides in emailed to you. So don't worry about writing all this down. 18, you must definitely create your social media accounts by now. And then you're going to start your organization meeting and your regular meetings. And of course, don't forget to celebrate your charter. So at this time, could you please go to the chat and put in what number you're at? What bus stop is your new club at presently?
Thank you, Teresa.
Waiting to see some people in the chat.
And I'm hoping to see double digits. That's what I would
Laura
like
Peters
to see.
is here. Yes. Oh, look at these numbers.
So we got some responses coming in there, Teresa.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
If you already have received an approval from member records, then you are definitely a 4 already. No, you're a 5. You're a 5. If you've read your documents, and by the way, they're consolidating the documents, make it a little bit easier, one-stop shopping, that's coming down the road. All you club creators with an approval, you're a 5 or a 6. Oh, we got Beth, who's a 13.5. Nice. It's important to know where you are in the process and to know what comes next. And as Ans said, oh, we got a 2. All right. As long as you know you're on the bus and your bus is moving.
That's right.
Ans Marie mentioned that you're allowed to take 2 whole years to do it. What we have found is club creation takes 2 to 4 months. You have to find 15 bodies. I gave a presentation where there was an undertaker present, and she asked me, do they have to be warm bodies? And yes, the answer is yes. But you need to get 15 people who are interested in Zonta. I submit to you that if you tell them about Zonta, they will want to be a part of it in some fashion. So it's all about our mouths and talking
and asking
and telling, and then asking. Yes, asking. That's all it is. It costs us nothing to talk. So you are being encouraged to talk a lot about Zonta soon.
You've heard several times here. We will send this out so you can take this timeline to your other members that are on this bus with you, and make sure that everybody understands how it all sort of flows, but also how you can determine where you are now and where you want to be. Use this. We also can call it a checklist or a timeline or a to-do list. This is going to be your script. Just a little bit more information about the free announcement event, and what do you need to actually prepare for that. We've already heard a venue, a date, a time, a location with your committee, or if you are a district club chair, start thinking about these things and have some clarity for yourself where you are going to have and how you're going to have these events. There are other things that you can do as well. Create a very attractive flyer. Make sure you've got your membership packs ready with some information about Zonta, the forms in for Zonta. You might also begin to develop a QR code. In a previous membership moment, I think most clubs now would have some information from Teresa how to get the QR code. Teresa, would you just quickly remind our attendees here about this QR code and how it is really a useful tool to have?
Yes, in the interest of time, I will simply say this. If you do not yet understand what a QR code is, you now have a second homework assignment to Google it and to talk to your lieutenant governor, she has received a page on it. Makes it very easy to bring the viewer to your website or to locate a club on the Zonta website. And Mariah tells me that very soon we will be able to even locate a club information There'll be a special line on the international website where somebody who is searching for a club can find your club that's not even chartered yet. So that's awesome. And Laura's asking the question, will we get the PowerPoint? Yes, you will get the PowerPoint.
Now, this is really where we have to pause for a little bit more, because we do know that the processes sometimes about creating a club are not too cumbersome or challenging. It's really about where do we find, who do we invite, and how do we get people. So I'm just again going to turn to Teresa, who has put together a list, which is just not exhaustive. You probably can add to it, but Teresa, I'm just going to hand over to you.
Okay, and again, in the interest of time, I'll be brief. There are people that we know, and there are more people that we don't know. The people that we know people that we don't know, right? So we need to work our intimasphere, our circle of influence, in addition to who we know, because we don't know everybody. There are a lot of people out there in the world. So you're going to look at different sources, and you'll get this list. As Ans said, it is not exhaustive. It's a thought starter list. You are going to make a list of people to invite. The more, the better. In the video that you will watch as your homework assignment in the next 24 hours of Diane Lego, she will tell you that the first person she always invited was the mayor of her city. And she announced as a courtesy that she is starting a club in her city. And guess what the mayor would always say? Oh, we have a lot of clubs. I don't think you'll be able to do it. And she say, just watch me. She was encouraged by that. But some mayors will open up their address book and let you know, oh, you need to talk to this one. You need to talk to that one. Certainly, we want to talk to a variety of people. On the first call, somebody expressed that they have a setup. I think it was Kim Teague said they had a setup at a local library, and they're doing it for International Women's Day. The month of March, all around the world, is women's history. So you want to be very visible, especially for International Women's Day on the 8th. Be out there and let people come back to Zanta. There could be somebody who sees one of your flyers who lives out of town. If you send her to Zanta.org, she may join Zanta in a different club. That's okay. We are all here to help each other. And in the area where you are, places of worship. Some places of worship insist that their members provide community service. Those are the people who will be great at that. Young people are much activists. They care about the climate. They care about so many things. Find them on social media. Use your hashtags when you post. Search them, and be always asking, who do you know who? So you want to develop this list. In the video of Diane, she said that she would always, when she was starting a new club, develop a list of 100 people. And then she would invite them all to come. She would get 50 who would come. And out of the 50, she'd have 25 who would say yes. That was her goal. Back then, the requirements was 20, and she wanted to have 25. If you have a group, an organization, maybe you have dental hygienists, 5 dental hygienists, and they all want to join. In the olden days, we would say to them, sorry, we can only take 1 in this club. But today you can invite a special interest group to come. That can be part of your club.
And again, this is another plug for Diane's video, because in that video, she raises a lot more information, particularly about some of the obstacles that you may encounter, some of the naysayers, and how to best go about that. So watch that video. This is only just a sample invitation letter. Some of you have asked specifically for the tools so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Is there a particular format? Is there a particular letter? We are going to make that available for you. And again, I just want to stress here, you don't necessarily have to literally use the sample. It is about, together with your group, think about what sort of the wordings that you would like to use. So this is just an idea. Similarly, with an agenda, We will provide you with a bit of an agenda, some of the things to cover. But again, you may have to work together and come up with an agenda that will work for you, whether it's an electronic meeting or an announcement event or an invitation meeting. It doesn't matter. You have to think about what it is that you would like to get across. Similarly with the PowerPoint, and I'm going to again ask Teresa to comment on this, because this is probably the most requested tool. Is that right, Teresa?
Yes, in fact, we had a lot of people last meeting ask us about it. And the good news is there's one coming. It's on pause right now, but not for very long. As Zanta International puts their branding on it, we want to have colors that reflect the new and fresh outlook of Zanta. And I will tell you that we concentrated on images so that if you speak Japanese, you won't have to worry too much that this is in English. If you speak French, like Victoire, no problem. You can easily change it and there will be speaking points to the slides. So that's coming within the next week. We should have that out for you. I do have a question on the chat from Angela, who's creating a club in Uruguay. And she asked about templates for press kits. Well, I'm very happy to tell you that right now, press kits on the website. So check that out. And yes, I think she also asks, is it possible to have a short neutral video about what is Zanta? We're making this slideshow very, very vanilla ice cream, and you can add your flavor, you can add your culture, your location to it. Keep it simple. It's a sales presentation. Now, if some of you go, oh, I'm not a salesperson, the very device that you are looking at right now was sold to you. The bed that your grandmother was in when she passed away was sold to somebody is not a bad thing. And it just is a way of communicating to somebody about what you are inviting them to join. And some will join and some won't. The beginning of this presentation, when it comes, oh, Mariah's put in the press kit templates, good. When in the beginning, I'm going to give you, in America, we have this word, this expression, chicken out. That means you get scared. I promise you, when you do this for the first time, you will be scared. It's normal. The only time you are not going to feel elevated emotion is when you don't care. So if you feel a little scared, go, oh yeah, Teresa told me I would, and that's normal. Yes, take a deep breath. And in the beginning of your presentation, I want you to say, at the end of this presentation, I'm going to ask you if you want to join Zanta. That way you're committed. You have to ask them at the end. And at the end, they will tell you yes, no, or maybe. The yeses get the applications, the maybes get the applications, and the no's get a thank you very much. Now you know more about Zanta. I hope that you will support the existing club. No's will not make you bleed. Every fifth no you get gets you closer to your yes. So you want to hear some no's because that means a yes is coming. Yes, you'll feel a little bit bad when the lady that you really hoped would join says no. Timing has got to be right, and maybe the timing isn't right for her. Don't throw her information away. Keep in touch. When you hear Diane's video, her interview, you will see how much emphasis she placed on following up. That is really, really important. So I have another question about budget. If I had a magic wand, I would have every district put membership as a line item in their budget. But right now, they do not. We have to work carefully. Some do and some don't. You can talk to your district, but it costs nothing to speak. And you can choose a venue that doesn't charge anything, like a library community room. You have to look for the venue, and then I have Italian and French heritage. So it is natural for me to want to feed everybody. It's just in my blood. I have a saying, feed them and they will come. But not everybody is that way. When I asked Diane, did she feed them? She said, I came to that area by bus. I came a lot of miles. No, I did not feed them. They came in and out in 45 minutes. I did one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and one in the evening. So you don't have to go to a great deal of expense. You really don't.
Can I ask, can I just make a comment about if, for example, somebody does not wish to join at the moment for whatever reason, could I please also ask you to think about that is an opportunity to invite them to become a supporting member, because often they come because they wish to have, you know, they have the goal of building a better world for women and girls. They want to end violence, they want to end child marriage, but they just at one stage don't, for example, have the opportunity or the time, I should say. So again, this is a great opportunity to introduce the supporting membership that we have in Zonta. And
Yes.
so that is certainly something that I think we should promote more to people that don't want to join an organization by face-to-face or as an e-club. Okay. All right, now I've got 2 more slides, and this is really just briefly advising you that following your announcement event, you've got your 15 members, you have your organizing meeting and charter. Now, charter by May 2023. The Zonta year ends at 2023. And so therefore, we continue to remind you, if you have one this year, then this Zonta year, I should add, we have and you can get ready for another club perhaps in the next Zonta year. But that brings us then to before we go to the Q&A and open it up, and I'll stop sharing, just a reminder to put in your diary that the next session for the club creating, we had one in November, we now have one in February, and we will have another one in May. So mark that date already. It will be a very similar option again, session 1 or session 2, that fits better with you. Okay.
By the
Thank you.
way, I want to tell you that we had, I think, 8 people from RSA this morning. I didn't count them all. And then we have Angela today. So 9, so nearly 10 from that district information. And I think the result was because we had a personal visit. So even though we won't get together as a large group till May, which is nearly when most of you will be chartered, even though we won't get together as a large group, you can expect to hear from Ans Marie, myself. I haven't asked Winnie yet. Winnie, I know you're on here. I'm going to ask you to be in touch as well, our membership committee, to have some one-on-ones with your district to help you along the way. And at any time, you are so welcome to always email Ans Marie, Chief Club Creator. Or you know what, if you're a new club, I should say this right, Ans, if you're a new club chair, you're the bus driver, your first stop is your bus manager, your district club creator. She will take your question, she will get it to Ans. That way, Ans is only fielding 32 questions from 32 people. Only 32, and she does have another job as well. So that was it. That will be the chain of our communication. So district club creators, I am going to ask you to please be very, very available to your new club chairs and to please keep the communication going. And we have lieutenant governors on here too. So it's probably a really good time for me to say that you get a message from me every Monday, Sunday night, if you're in the US. I try very hard to do that and have it be something that's important to you or helpful to you. But you can't just read it and go, oh, that's nice. No, I expect that you will take that and copy paste some of it and put your own spin on it and send it to your membership team. Because lieutenant governors, your membership team is made up of every single club in your district, their membership committee chair. And if a club president has not yet assigned a membership chair, Ans Marie and I have nightmares, and Winnie, we have nightmares around about that. But if they have not assigned a membership chair, guess what? The president of the club is it. So if the club does not have a designated membership chair, the president of that club is it. So lieutenant governors, your committee is your club chairs, and district club creator, your committee is your bus drivers, and you work closely with lieutenant governor. And this is all new. I'm seeing some people, thank you for clarifying. It's all new. You know, we're making it as we go along, but with 33, and I think I saw some more come across today, maybe 35 clubs in formation, we're on our way. So now we just need to get to our bus destination by the end of this year. We have 4 months ahead of us. Even if you were starting at 1 on that list, you can make it happen. You just need 15 people who want to help build a better world for women and girls. That's all.
Thank you. We've got 10 minutes left, and I really would love to hear if there are any questions. District 17 has, as you know, quite a few clubs information. So there is also a lot of lessons to be learned. I'm just going to ask you to either raise your hand like that or use the chat, not the chat, the icon to see if there are any questions about anything that we have touched on. I can't see anybody there.
I will tell you that our intention is to have a Dropbox folder that you can access samples of things like this. Does it mean you have to use it? No. Does it mean you have to use it just as it is? No. But it will give you an inspiration for things that everybody is asking for and everybody will eventually use in some form or another.
But yeah, I think the timeline and Diana's videos and tips should already really give some good guidance to our club creators. And I think the core message is, again, is to ask, to ask, to ask. Even if you're not, I think Pat Cousins, who's the district club creator for District 22, asked about how to go about creating a club if you're not actually physically living in the town. And we have touched on that and how important it is to, if you have a Zontion in that town, for example, to get them to join Zonta so they can access the resources. So another thing that I also picked up from last night's session, which I wish to share. So once the club information has a flyer or an announcement event or even planning, to seek the support from other clubs in your districts and ask them to spread the word that there is a new club information in town A or in town B. So that it's not only just you doing the ask and the promotion of the new club, everybody in your district becomes, together with you, part of your promoting this new club that is going to be formed. So talk to other clubs in your area, your districts, and ask them to promote this announcement event or the creation of a club.
Well, since no one's asking questions, I have a question for you. Who here is planning or has held an announcement event or an information event? Who here has already met with some people and told them about Zonta, or you have something coming up? I'm wondering, where did you choose your venue? What did you do? And Ans, you might have to call on people if someone's got their hands up.
Yeah, and I could also see a question in the chat from Pat. So we'll come back to that in a moment, Pat. So I'm sorry, Teresa.
Oh, okay. Well, we can do, so just wondering where you chose your venues. Anybody have an interesting venue? Anybody in a tree house yet? I saw somebody talking about a tree house. That was different. I do also want to mention something from the first session that was brought up about using press releases, talking to the press, letting people know. We've got to let the people know. You know how fast gossip spreads? That's the stuff we don't want to spread around, but this we do want to spread around. We want to let everybody know. So please use your hashtags, post your flyers, post your information. Oh, I'll tell you one quick story. I was talking with my husband's friend, and I'm thinking about Colombia and South America. And I don't know how the conversation got there, but he goes, oh, my cousin lives in Chile. I'm like, you're kidding. She's interested in the international scene. He goes, I was at her house once and she had 30 women come over. I'm like, I need to talk with her. So you never know who you're going to talk with. It doesn't have to be in your own neighborhood. You never know who you're going to talk to. So if you get some press out there about your event, you may find a new member for your new club, or maybe somebody else's new club. We are all on the same team. So we all work together.
Now, Pat asked about, Pat asked about what sort of characteristics or what qualities are we looking for in organizers? Anybody has a suggestion, or everybody has some comments or experience? Pat, that's what the question is. Did I interpret that correctly?
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
So you mean a bus driver?
Yes. Is that right, Pat? You're talking
Yes.
about a bus
Yes.
driver. So you're the district club creator, but now you're managing the bus station and you're looking for how well do they have a license is the first question. But certainly
Sometimes they find you. Sometimes they find you, right? Sometimes they find you, but you want a reliable, honest person, a person who's going to be a very good representation of Zonta. Sometimes it's somebody who's already in Zonta. Sometimes it's somebody who's not. Sometimes people hear about Zonta and they want to have a club, but there isn't one in their organization, and they will find you and say, how do I start it? And that's a blessing. And that is so good when that happens. So if they follow up, if they answer your email, that's good. They've got to be willing to work. The only place success comes before work is in the dictionary. So those are some of a good Zonta or Zonta-like qualities. Think about what you need to drive that bus. You have to show up. They have to return your calls. Those are all good people.
I know the traffic rules.
Yeah, no speeding.
By
the way, if your new club creator wants to move faster than you're comfortable with, let her. Because it's just like dating. Sometimes it's love at first sight when we meet somebody. Sometimes we have to get acquainted for a while. People will come to Zonta at their own speed. And when they tell you they are ready to join, you let them. Please do not hold their membership. Let them belong as soon as possible. And if they need to go somewhere else and then transfer into your new club, that's allowed. That's okay.
And it's actually an easy process. So they can either join as a supporting member and then transfer later on, or they can probably better, because I don't know whether supporting members have the same, I suppose they have the same access to the Zonta resources, but certainly they can join an existing club. The process of transferring to a new club is very easy, very, very easy. So the main thing is that if they show an interest in joining, not to say, look, we haven't got 15 yet, so you can't join. That's a no. We just immediately take their money and take their application so they can join the organization.
Give yourself a couple of months. So if they say they want to join, yes, I mean, take their money, take their application as soon as they say yes, and then try to get your 15 and get it in and get chartered in a couple of months. But if you're going to be one of those persons who drags it on for a year, then let them join somewhere else. Because if you're bringing them in the front door and you wait a year, they're going to be going out the back door. We want to get them involved and get them enjoying the benefits of Zonta membership.
That now brings us to, it's 8:59. So just to wrap it up, we will share the link of this recording. We will share the PowerPoint, and we will advise you when the resources become available as soon as they receive the green light from Zonta International, so that they can be published on the Zonta International website, that can be uploaded on Dropbox. But in the meantime, I think you got from this presentation a lot of information that you now need to go and digest. Identify where you are, which bus stop, and have your plan, your timeline in place so you know where you're going to land. Okay, it's like any event, you got to have that date, whether it's a wedding, whether it's an announcement event, all of those things start with an end date in mind. Okay, now I'm going to again thank Teresa in particular for her contribution to this session. Always just a wonderful inspiration, not only for me, but also for you. So I really would like to acknowledge the support that I have in my role as Chief Club Creator, but I also wish to express my heartfelt thanks for your support as Club Creator, to coming along to this session, showing your interest, showing your willingness to learn more about how we can build a better world for women and girls. So on that note, good night, good
Well,
morning.
before we go,
good
I just
afternoon.
want to
Oh,
ask,
sorry.
I want to say thank you before we go. Thank you very much, Ans, for putting this together. Mariah, do you have anything you want to add before we head out?
Sure. I did put I put the links to press kits, and we do have a lot of translations of those. So please go and take a look at that page, and I think that'll be helpful. I also put a link to, we have what we call elevator speeches, sort of an intro to Zanta. I put a link there to that. You are all welcome to use that as you see fit. And as Teresa said earlier, we will have some more helpful materials out to you as soon as possible. But I would just like to also say that I am happy to be a resource to you as well. If you have any questions about the headquarters side of things, or need any advice or questions answered in that capacity, I would be helpful there. So feel free to reach out to me as well.
Thank you, Mariah.
Thank
you
you.
very
Thank you
much.
so much. All
You know,
right.
and it's a two-way street. I will say, I had the privilege of reading the newsletter for District 1. I believe I'm going to end up sharing it with you because it was so well done. She put an advertisement for people in the district who are interested. You'll have to see it. It's real cute. It's like a classified
I
ad.
just saw that. It's wonderful.
Wasn't that wonderful?
Yes.
So I will send that out to you. And they had a Canva message, very, very, a lot of good things. We'll send them to you. But you want to, so anyhow, you want to see that. So if you got a good idea, please share it back with us so that we can share it out to everyone, because, you know, we can't think of everything.
That's right. Yeah, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. We can inspire each other.
I can't wait to celebrate in Brisbane, online or in person, at all these clubs creating. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you. I'll stop the
Bye-bye.
recording.
Thank you very much.